So SmackDown gets Damage Control, all three of them. Raw gets Shinsuke Nakamura, and Road Dogg notes how much he loves his theme song. And then Sean says that this is a hard one for me. Elba Fire and Isla Dawn, the NXT Tag Champions. And Michael Cole notes that, yes, Elba Fire and Isla Dawn are coming to SmackDown.
I think I heard Isla, but sure.
Was it Isla?
I don't know. One of the two.
Gosh. And then the fourth one, Road Dogg goes, well, Sean, I don't know if you're going to like this one either, because if you lost your smile once, you might lose it again, because we've drafted Indy Hartwell to Raw. So, man, they just have taken the champions, the female champions, out of NXT. And there's Indy Hartwell in her walking boot. So I don't even know if she can drop this belt next week, as it looks like Elba Fire and Isla Dawn very well could next week, because they get interviewed by Mackenzie Mitchell, and Caden Carter and Katana Chance issue the challenge for Tuesday for the tag titles, and perhaps we get a title change on Tuesday.
She might, Indy might very well do a Shawn Michaels, I can't compete and I have to give up the championship type of a ceremony. So I thought the NXT drafts were the best parts of the show because they felt the most real. I mean, really, they're the only reactions that you saw, and they were the most real reactions I think you
I would venture to guess these were legitimate reactions, that they were there and probably did not know they were being drafted.
Yeah, the Dawn and Fire one, maybe they had a hint because they had to do a promo afterwards, but I could buy Hartwell being a completely legitimate surprise. These are of course talents that aren't just graduating, but they're getting to see a big difference in their paychecks and their lifestyles. Mm-hmm. This is a huge moment in their lives that they're, a lot of them, maybe even in the case of Indy, wasn't necessarily sure that she would have eventually had. You're talking also about two NXT UK talents that probably, had quite the journey getting over here and finally getting called up to the main roster. So I don't doubt that these reactions were incredibly genuine. I do wonder in the case of Indy, like if the injury had anything to do with the announcement, because I'm wondering if she's like, she just won the championship. You'd figure that she would have had a few more defenses under her belt. But if she's injured and she's probably going to give up the championship anyway, well, what's she going to do? Like wait another 6 months just to kind of come back to NXT, win the belt, and then drop it off again, like for another year? Or do you just kind of like say like, hey, like she's won the championship, she's going to drop it without losing it, and we'll just have her re-debut on the main roster?
Yeah, it's possible. I think it comes down to the extent of the injury. And if you are dropping these NXT titles on Tuesday, I mean, do they want to do a series of these matches that are sort of foregone conclusions? You could go either way. I think ultimately it comes down to how significant this injury is. And maybe it's not, maybe it's only a minor injury. If they want to get these talents through that Battleground show at the end of the month, I will say for Indy Hartwell, I think that this past Tuesday, they should really play that up for her, like almost this defining performance from her as an introduction on Raw. Because on her own, like this is going to be a big jump for Indy Hartwell. I don't think massive. She was on people's short list to get the call up, and it's going to be very tough for her. But she does have this pretty big moment for her if you tell that story on television.
100%. But I mean, I was kind of surprised that they even gave her the championship. So clearly they see something enough in her to at least give her that, confidence. And again, she's going to be potentially on a roster that will contain Johnny Gargano, Candice LeRae, and Dexter Lumis. And I think that adds a whole lot more value for the storytelling ability that you could do with somebody like her. I would definitely have her attached to that group. And, Fire and Dawn, I think the women's division, especially the tag division, really needs fresh blood and veteran wrestlers in a way that the men's divisions don't. So I think they're already, they're both very capable workers. They're vets. And I think they're actually quite needed right now for the women's division.
I think Carter and Chance are ready for the call up myself. I would say like they've done just about all you can do at the NXT level, but it would think, especially if they are putting the titles on them, that is probably not in the cards for them.